Good morning, fellow Amazonians. Good morning to our great people. This is Dr. Cho Ayaba. I am reacting to the interview made by the Canadian High Commissioner in La République du Cameroun. First, let me remind our people that the reason why the Canadian Embassy is referred to as a High Commission is because of Cameroon's membership in the Commonwealth. And the only reason why Cameroon is a member of the Commonwealth is because of Amazonia. And I've read with utter dismay, and I think it's an insult to the Amazonian people. The High Commissioner asking Amazonians to compromise. I am wondering in which area would the High Commissioner want us to compromise? Imagine Mexico invades Canada, occupies it, denies it the right, the Canadian people the right to exercise control of sovereignty over Canada, imposes Mexican law on Canada, turns Canadians into slaves in their own homeland, enact laws that are estranged to Canadians, torture, kidnapped, rendition Canadians to Mexico, try them under Mexican law, sentence them to life in jail, murder tens of thousands of Canadians, cause the displacement of millions, and engage in acts of brutal occupation, including the wiping out of Canadian cities. What will Canada compromise on? I'm still wondering in which area of life would Canada compromise on? It is extremely very debilitating that countries which pride themselves with democracy, the respect of human rights, respect of international law, countries that have read the script of the survey made by Cardinal Toomey, the survey of the Coalition for Dialogue, which basically eliminated any notion, any doubt about what the Amazonians want, that these countries would still talk about independence as though it is an estranged concept within the international system. The recommendation of Oxford University, recommendation number 5, is clear. That's not based on the opinions of Amazonians. It's based on empirical evidence. The independence, the aspirations of the Amazonian people should never, in discussions about the resolution of this conflict, be eliminated from the table. When highly placed diplomats, when the country that is behind the financial support of the Swiss process makes a declaration that independence should not be considered a viable option. That country continues to legitimize an illegal and brutal occupation and providing the fuel that Cameroon needs to continue to roast our people, burn our villages. Canada must understand that the occupation of Ambazonia has come to an end, and that the only premise for negotiation will be the timetable for the withdrawal of Cameroon from our territory. That is the only discussion that we will entertain. For 60 years, they've all sat by and watched a country violate international norm by extending its border without the consent or any treaty with another country, illegally. They have sat by and watched the human rights of our people totally violated. Women raped. They failed woefully to back even the institutionalization of democracy within the body politics of Cameroon that could, at least to a certain extent, guarantee individual rights and the possibility of a consent-based governance. They've been part of a legitimization tool with Yaoundé, acting as though, impunity does not exist. This is insulting. Millions of our people are living in the bushes. These men have not called beer to order. Children are murdered. And they still doubt who has murdered these kids. They fail to enact international rules to, at least, if they doubt, send a fact-finding mission to establish the truth and take action. Will they even take action? Did they take action when they established the facts about Ngabo? They want to prescribe to us, the Ambazonians, a drug they cannot take. What is the reason why Quebecois are always asking for independence, even though they've not gotten it? It's a sense of nationalism. A fear that the Anglo-Saxon culture is going to eliminate their own culture. Yet the Quebecois have self-rule. They have whatever they need. Access to opportunities, respect, recognition. What do we have? Pain, exclusion, death certificates. An arrogant occupier that is determined to write the last chapter of our own history with our blood in the full glare of the international community in the 21st century. Let me remind every diplomat in Yaoundé, be prepared to move embassies to Buea. We are not Cameroonians. That identity will not be ascribed to us with the blood of our people. We will fight to our death to protect the only space within which the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, all the treaties and norms of the protection of human rights dignity will take hold and be protected. Ambazonians have the right to life, to the protection of their dignity. We have a right to hope. Our only currency cannot be desperation in the land of plenty, occupied by a neighbor that we have fed, protected. that the world has supported with inaction. The termination of Cameroon's presence in Amazonia must be the obligation of every country in the world. We will not take part in the Swiss process until the international community fulfills the minimum standards, prescriptions that we've put in place. We will continue to work with the United Nations to make sure a credible process is established with certainty of success that gives an opportunity for us to negotiate the termination of Cameroon's occupation of our country. The resistance will continue, and I call on Ambazonians across the globe to reject any cynicism, any prescription 60 years after tanks roll over our borders and made us miserable. We must stand firm with conviction that our resistance is rooted in law. We are a people of good faith, high degree of tolerance and compromise. That for over 60 years, we as a people have begged, have gone down on our knees to ensure that we have a space to live in peace, that our votes could count. We've begged these diplomats. Ambazonians in Canada have called on Canadians parliamentarians. They've petitioned. They've begged. And nothing has happened. Immediately, a failed process was instituted. Canada was willing to bankroll it. Canada has not been willing to refer Cameroon's genocidal policy to the UN Security Council. It has not been willing to commit, apart from being rhetorical. It has not even been able to meet Ambazonian leadership, to have proper discussion on how any meaningful discussions can take place, to ensure that Canadian taxpayers' money is not wasted in a botched process. We have ultimate respect for each country in the world, their sovereignty, their opinions on issues, but we think it's actually insulting after the death of thousands of our people, misery imposed in our land, children having been to school for more than 4 years, that any country, any ambassador will still think coexistence with Cameroon is an option. It's like thinking that one day Adolf Hitler will come back and will unite Europe by force. Or that the Napoleonic principle of unity based on the lack of consent should be the basis for which Europe should be united. This is unacceptable. And we find such comments, such statements insulting to our dignity and to our people. We should continue to arm ourselves. They have failed to invoke the responsibility to protect the lives of our people. They failed to create safe zones within which our IDPs can stay. They failed to do anything. They failed even to put minimum pressure on a decadent political regime that is crumbling. I mean, what are they scared of? Are they scared of this 90-year-old man who should be in an old people's home? Are they scared of a Tanganji? Who are they scared of in Yaoundé? Is that a viable political institution that they think it should be sustained? Do they pursue an economic doctrine that creates wealth and opportunities for even Cameroonians that they are afraid that is going to be undermined? Why are they scared of an outgoing, crumbling political system that has meant nothing for even its own people, for international peace and security, for stability, and for the creation of opportunity. They want to speak against the first democracy in the continent of Africa, the anchor of stability in the Gulf of Guinea, against a people who've shown high degree of tolerance and compromise, even in the face of death and destruction. They want to maintain the status principle upon which international relations is built, against that of self-determination for which millions of people aspire to be free from tyranny and occupation. What the hell are they scared of? Not on the blood of our people. Ambazonians, remain committed to your independence. As we said before, as if the issue of the whole resistance depended on us alone. The sun has risen over Ambazonia. We shall prevail over Cameroon, like the Eritreans did to prove the Americans and the international system wrong, like the South Africans did to prove the international system wrong. We have in the past 4 years on our own rewritten our own history. It must have been written with our blood, but we are grateful for the sacrifices that our people have made to establish safe and governable spaces within our own territory, to fly our flag, sing our anthem, and create our community schools. Look back, there is hopelessness. Look forward, there is hope in a new country. No one will dictate the outcome for us. God bless you all.